On today's edition of Sports Talk, we'll recap the boys' basketball season in McKinney ISD with one team season still going strong. Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Tyler Sloan. McKinney North is moving on to the playoffs after a perfect district season. Coach Daryl Kraft will be here to explain how his team can repeat last year's regional tournament appearance. It was a rough season for both McKinney High and Boyd, who finished 5th and 6th in District 10-5A. I'll chat with the coaches about looking forward to next season. We're always running full court press. Sports Talk begins now. Now we're going to talk about some McKinney Lions basketball. I'm joined by their head coach, Wes Watson. And Coach, thanks again for coming to join us on the show today. And for your team, it was a 2-8 season in district play. Overall, what were kind of your impressions of how the season unfolded?
The season overall, we were it was kind of weird. We had trouble, ever getting traction. It seemed like anytime we thought we had something going, we would have a setback. Not to make excuses, but we just, we had some kids get sick here and there, had some kids get injured here and there, and it just seemed like we were, struggling to get a consistent lineup out there. And then right before district, our leading scorer went down. E.J. Clark went down. Didn't have him during district. Obviously it would have been nice to have had your leading scorer, but. I was really proud of how our kids battled. I thought, we were very competitive in district, especially the first half of district. Had some games that we had some opportunities to win. I thought we gave great effort, and I was proud of our kids at the end of the day.
Now, obviously, and you said already, not making any excuses, but, this district 10-5A was packed with some talented players and teams in the district. What was it like for you and some of these players going up against those guys night in and night out, and what they learned from that?
Well, I think it's a great experience, and we try to sell the kids on that. It's it's not every day that you get to go against what we think could be a couple of future NBA guys. DJ Hogue over at Plano West, he's top-rated kid in the junior class in the state of Texas. Zach Smith over at Plano East is really, really good, and probably just starting to scrape the surface of how good he can be. So. And Plano had good players. Allen has really good players. It's a tough district, and it's even though it's only 6 teams, it's a handful. So we looked at it as a great opportunity to go against really good people, and then we thought that if we played really well as a team, we'd give ourselves a chance to win those games. And we got a lot of kids coming back next year, so that whole experience going through all of this is going to benefit them, should serve them well going into next year.
Another thing that benefited you before district play was the Waco Midway tournament, getting to go down there for the holiday tournament. What was that experience like for the players, not having to play in the Metroplex area, getting to kind of go out of town and have that bonding experience? What did that end up being?
That was a lot of fun, and we haven't done that. We haven't done an out-of-town tournament since I think it was 2006. It's been a while since we've gone out of town, stayed overnight. So, we wanted to do that. We wanted to try to build some team chemistry, get these guys away from their normal day-to-day routine, being around the school all the time. Just get them and I guess, unfamiliar territory and let them bond a little bit with each other. And that was a good trip. The kids had a great time. It was a lot of fun. We played pretty well down there. We really felt like we should have won 3 of the 4 games we played. Played extremely well the first game against Eastview out of Georgetown. Played Austin Buoys, one of the better teams down in Austin, and lost a 1 or 2 point game to them. Had a chance down at the end to win it and just didn't get it done. And we beat Belton, and then had a chance, against Waco Midway. And I thought that game, even though we lost, and it wound up being double digits, I thought that was a good game for us because I thought they were similar to a lot of the teams we were going to see in league play. So overall, that was a great experience for our kids in terms of what we did on the floor, but also just getting, like you said, getting away and getting to bond with each other a little bit.
And when it came to district play, obviously you had the injuries. E.J. Clark was a big miss for your team. But how did your players end up coming over some of that adversity? You got the 2 wins against Boyd in the district, which were very important. Those were very close games with you guys in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's, it's another one. We talk about the Allens, the Planos, the Plano East, Plano West, and the other team is your crosstown rival. So every time you play your crosstown rival, it's just going to be an absolute war. And they pushed us to the brink in both games. They had us almost beat in the first game, and then in the second game they had I think a 12-point lead against us in the first half, and we had to really play extremely well in the second half of that game to win that game. So but those were 2 really good wins for our kids and for our fans, because those are, I guess, the games you want to win, your crosstown rival games. Personally, I would have traded those 2 wins for a trip to the playoffs, but here we are, and checking in equipment and looking ahead to next year. So, I'm pretty pleased with our effort. I had a great time coaching these kids this year, and just look forward to continuing to build this program. And obviously we're going to be stepping down next year in class, and we got a lot of kids coming back, so we're excited about that.
And it's stepping down to, well, you remain in 5A technically, by technical terms, even though most 5A are going up to 6A. Going to be in a district with McKinney North now next year. Going to play some of the teams that they've been playing in years past. North went undefeated in that district this year. So looking ahead to that district play, what can we expect next year from McKinney?
Well, we've still got to do things to help us win basketball games. I would contend, as good as our league was, if we'd have done certain things better, we could have won some of those games this year. So just the mere fact that we're dropping down in classification, it doesn't guarantee us anything. We know that we're going to have to play well to beat the teams that are in front of us in that district. North's obviously done a really good job of that, this year. We feel like, that's going to be fun, kind of renewing the rivalry with North. We've been in a couple of tournaments with them the last couple of years, and we've just never met up in either one of those tournaments. So it'll be fun. That's always a fun game. It's always a tightly contested game, kind of like the 2 Boyd games were this year. So we're certainly looking forward to that. And we're leaving a district full of a bunch of guys that I have a lot of respect for as coaches, and we're going into one with a bunch of coaches that I'm pretty familiar with too, that I have a lot of respect for. So it'll be neat from my standpoint to kind of renew some old acquaintances there, compete with their teams, and just again, we're looking forward to going in there and competing against some pretty good programs at the 5A level.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some good games in that district next year. The guys that are leaving your team, graduating at the end of this year, some guys that have been standouts for a long time for your team. You have Remington Edwards, who was averaging just shy of 13 points per game for you this year. John Charles Rockmore, Leland Briscoe, Drew Hammonds, a lot of seniors making some big contributions this year's team you're not going to have next year.
They did, and we hate to see those guys go, but that's the reality of high school basketball. Every year you have kids graduate, and Remington's done a lot for us. He 3-year varsity player. He was on a really good team as a sophomore that lost to South Oak Cliff and the area around down at American Airlines Center. A team that I thought we had a really good team last year that just missed getting into the playoffs, and obviously he was a leader on this year's team, and he's played a lot of basketball in that McKinney uniform and had some really good moments over the years. So he was a really good player for us. John Trell, we're thrilled, for John Trell. He got signed a Division I football scholarship with Utah State. He did a great job for us the 2 years he was on the varsity, and we're certainly looking forward to continuing to follow him and support him in his career in football. Leland, just a young man that's got a lot of upside. I think there's still a lot there with Leland. I think he's got an opportunity, if he chooses to continue to pursue it, to maybe play at the college level. He just got to continue to work hard. He's a great kid. and there'll be some opportunities there for him if he chooses to go that direction. And Drew's just a terrific young man. I mean, he's you know, great in the classroom. He got better and better as the year went on this year. Had a 15-point game against Boyd. That second Boyd game had a 19-point game against Plano when we were fighting for that last playoff spot. He led our team in charges. I mean, he was just a really good player and got better and better as the year went on. So we'll miss those guys, and we appreciate all that they did for us, and you know, we'll look forward to following them and wishing them success, you know, whatever the next level may be for them.
Coach Watson, thank you so much for joining us today on Sports Talk, and good luck to you in the offseason going into next year's play.
Well, I really appreciate it, Tyler. Thank you.
No problem. McKinney Lions, unfortunately, finishing 5th in this year's District 10 5A slate. Next year, they're going to stay in 5A. They'll be joining McKinney North in their district, looking to make the playoffs next year.